off. So the one spot of a few in the country, they're actually getting that taste of fall, a little bit more in line with what's average, because we really have lost all sight of what is average anymore, because so many places are just out of whack. So you look at the 24-hour temperature change. This is a good visual of the story that you're experiencing. So Binghamton, 14 degrees cooler than you were just 24 hours ago. New York, about 9 degrees cooler than you were 24 hours ago. And I think the difference may be even more impressive as we go through the afternoon. The cooler air is settling in. It was so warm yesterday, 70s and even into the 80s in places. So yes, absolutely a taste of fall today with highs back up into the 50s. That's it. A little more in line with what's average. 62 in D.C. today, 61 degrees in Charleston, Pittsburgh at 55, and a cool 47 degrees in Buffalo. But we're also feeling it on the low temperature side too. So starting to see a little nice refreshing air mass in the morning as you start your day. So New York, as an example, the average low is 45. We're actually going to see perhaps by Monday morning into the day, temperatures starting off into the 30s. So, you know, suburbs are definitely going to be into the 30s, and those lows rebounding a little bit back up into the 40s. But you see sort of a nice little up and down around that average mark over the next few days in New York. And by the way, if you are counting, the average highs and lows are on the way down, Alex, of seeing some rainfall. So let's talk stats, because I think this one's pretty astounding. When you think desert Southwest, you think lack of rainfall. Well, since October 1st, there are cities in the Southwest that have received not only more rainfall, but significantly more rainfall in that same amount of time. Look at Tucson, Phoenix, and Los Angeles, all over half an inch of rainfall since October 1st. And you see Birmingham, goose egg, big zero right there. Chattanooga only 0.08 of an inch, and Atlanta coming in at 0.16 of an inch of rainfall in that same amount of time. So it is really devastating what's happening in this short-term drought right now. We get to the drought monitor updated in every Thursday, and you can see how long it has been for so many areas without the rainfall. And when you look at this stretch of some cities, including Birmingham, which right now you're at the record longest streak without measurable rainfall at 46. We are going to blow that record out of the water, because there's rain in the forecast, certainly not in the short term anyway. And the deficits, I mean, you really need something significant to come in here between now and the end of the year to make up for some of these deficits. And when you look at the forecast over the next 10 days, you really see the visual here. Less than an inch. Birmingham into Atlanta, Mobile, as well as Valdosta. It is really something. The slow mover is going to give us a few days to pick up more rainfall in areas like, as Alex mentioned, maybe not accustomed to picking up quite that much. And it's also having that side effect of keeping the clouds and the rain around and keeping those temperatures at bay, with so many of us under the heat. We're under the clouds feeling a little bit cooler. So there it is. It's a cool air aloft. That's resulting in some of that unsettled weather. And as long as that really doesn't move a whole lot, you're not going to see a big change up of the weather, slight variations in locations here and there. But the story for today will be that low-level moisture streaming to the northwest. You're getting some of that feed off of the Gulf of Mexico, and that's enough to add to those showers and thunderstorms, and you get them to kind of just sit in one place, and now you have that flash flood threat, which we've seen in some places, which we're seeing right now. We do have still that flash flood warning. Not only the heavy rain, but you've got lightning at this hour of the day, showers and thunderstorms from Arizona into New Mexico. So you go through the next few hours and you see two main areas of wet weather across southern Texas, but also in through Arizona, New Mexico, pushing into Utah and Colorado. So this is where we're going to see that threat continue today. You see by this evening some of that rain, locally heavy still, and not to mention the threat of maybe some hail along with these showers and thunderstorms. So more of the same tomorrow, and Alex, really going to continue, especially west and central and southern Texas, into the end of the weekend.
Yeah, all right, time to talk a little sports ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we?
This I love. It's a battle of the wolves.
Ooh.
Who's going to be the alpha male of the pack? We've got the wolf pack against the Lobos tomorrow, kickoff at 8:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah, and we do have the chance for some storms. Not a huge risk, but still the chance is there. So keep that in mind. You may have to seek shelter, get into that safe zone if there is any rumble of thunder or lightning action.
Right, but again, kind of interesting. Albuquerque, showers and thunderstorms.
Exactly.
November, kind of out there. All right, we head to Clemson, South Carolina, with the Tigers, #2. They are on fire against the Syracuse Orangemen.
Yeah, trying to pull and be spoilers. highly unlikely, but you never know. That's why they play the game.
I mean,
you would be
Penn State versus Ohio State was, I mean, the ending of all spoilers, right? We've got plenty of sunshine. I don't think you could really pick better college football weather. I mean, we've got sunshine, relatively like a cool warm. 70 is perfect.
Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. All right, meanwhile, we take you to Jacksonville. This is, I guess, a neutral site game here between Notre Dame and Navy. And this will be a fun one to watch, but also a great one in terms of the weather. Mostly looking dry. Temperatures are comfortable. A little breezy. That'll be the one little fly in the way.
Right, so that's you run the ball more, right? Not so much the kicking game, I guess, right?
Yes.
Look at me. All right, we head to East Rutherford, New Jersey. Let's talk a little NFL. We got the Eagles 4-3 against the Gigantes of New York. Also 4-3, by the way.
I wish both teams could lose. I'm a Skins fan. I have to hope for both to lose. I know it's impossible, but maybe a tie?
Then there are fighting words. I lived in Philly. I'm from New Jersey. It's on during the commercial break, by the way. All right, let's now take you to Cleveland, where we've got the Browns against the Cowboys. Beautiful football conditions here. Tailgating spectacular. Bright sunshine, temps into the low 60s.
Yeah, should be a good weekend of football, so get the couch ready and all the beverages that you want. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Also, NASCAR action. Yeah, that's going to be taking place here for us this evening, in fact, there. This is in Texas here at the Motor Speedway. The Stripping Technology 350, and the forecast actually shaping up nicely. Cloudy skies, but we'll stay dry for the day. Temperatures pretty comfortable as well, low 70s to upper 60s.
You talk about good racing weather. I mean, the track is going to stay dry. The fans will stay comfortable. The drivers, too.
Yes.
You know, it's hot in those outfits and the cars, and not the outfits, you know, the gear that they have to wear. Sorry. All right, let's talk about the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge at the Texas Motor Speedway on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon looking great again. Again, a little milder than what we'll see this evening, but all in all, fantastic as we see those clouds begin to thin out. Sun poking its way on through late afternoon into the early evening. Oh,
it is a full NASCAR weekend. Or you go to Sunday, the AAA Texas 500. Again, cloudy skies for the most part and temps holding into the lower side. Because the moon's orbit isn't perfectly round, so you have times where it's a little bit closer than others. So the moon is at its closest point to Earth. It's called the perigee. Supermoons occur because the moon's orbit is elliptical, which means 14% closer, 30% brighter than other full moons of the year. I think a lot of the brightness, too, comes with the weather conditions, right? So you have nice, cool, dry fall air typically, and it looks like we'll have that as well.
Yeah, it should be fantastic. Have you ever gotten a chance to see? I'm sure you have. You love the space.
I do, but what's funny to me is that we get all excited about 14% bigger. You really don't notice. You can't tell unless you have like the superimposed pictures that people kind of do. So I was kind of like, yeah, it's super. It's always super in my eyes. All right, so time of the show where we update you on either the tropics or the winter weather. And we're going to pick winter because we're trying to find it, Dr. Postel. Where is it?
I'm hiding it. It's in my closet at home.
I would totally buy that because it's really hard to find right now.
It is. And when you look at the temperature departures from average, not just over the lower 48, but over North America and even beyond, you're like, well, they're not less than zero. In other words, it's warmer than average everywhere.
And it doesn't help with the storm track, too, and the pattern that's kind of been in place at this point, which just continues. You know, it's a parade of storms, as we'll talk about, but it's not tapping into the cold air.
You're exactly right. And on the satellite picture that I put on here, there's one big storm right out there in the Gulf of Alaska, essentially in parts of the eastern Pacific. That is just one example of one storm that is doing that very thing you're talking about, flooding North America with mild air instead of allowing it to cool off naturally.
So we would have to shift this way in order to get that kind of continental polar air that we think of as, you know, fall, November into December. This is the maritime influence.
That's it. That's exactly right. It's coming off the Pacific Ocean, which is a relatively mild air to begin with. It's residing over the ocean. And as we go day by day, we're going to see a continuation of storms move into the very same area. So the one we see out there now is just an example of a whole lot more coming down the pike that's going to continue to bring pretty mild air into Canada, and that's the source region for us down here. So it's warm up here and we get a north wind, it's not going to be that cold coming into the United States, Maria.
But when you talk about a series of storms, there are places that are going to be hit pretty hard with weather. It's just like we've been talking about, it's not the lower 48 in the form of snow. but there are places that are going to see.
There are places that are going to get a lot of snow. It's just not here. Guess where it is, Maria? Look up there, right in the far corner of this picture. I love it. They're going to get pummeled by huge snows over the next week to 10 days and probably even beyond. This is just one forecast for the next 10 days. And this scale is in feet, not inches.
Wow. And 6 feet.
Yes, all in these areas of parts of Western Canada. So that's in a very localized area at high altitudes. That is where winter is right now.
And it's kind of interesting, too, because I believe Juneau ended up October, one of their snowier Octobers. And they're kind of in that line. They're taking the brunt of that parade of storms.
It all balances out. We're getting it pretty mild, but some places are really getting hit hard.
All right, Dr. Postel, thank you so much. Alex?